I need to share that I work in a relatively small community when it comes to radio broadcasting, and yet I still don't know everybody, and I don't know everybody that's listening. But I do appreciate those people that send me things that sort of stimulate my mind. I need a little bit of that every day, obviously. I got an email when I came into the office this morning. It was from a couple here in town, and it's a link to a sermon from a pastor at a church, a very big church in Virginia. And it's his election sermon is what he calls it. Says he dusts it off every 4 years and brings it to the attention of his congregation, whether they like it or not. And there's one point in the middle of it where he says, if I voted just on personality, I might vote for Joe Biden. He seems like the type of guy who would charter a boat so he could take his grandchildren fishing. Donald Trump, on the other hand, he says, appears like the guy who would own the boat and then at the end of the day make fun of you because you caught nothing. Now, I realize Donald Trump has that sort of brash appeal. There was a story that was written about Trump a few weeks ago in Pravda on the Potomac, I mean, the Washington Post. And the writer said that when Trump was back in his high school days, that he was playing baseball, and he was a very good baseball player. He hit an inside the park home run. And a couple of days later, he told one of his teammates he'd hit the ball out of the park. And the teammate said, no, it was inside the park. And Trump just grinned and said, no, it went over the wall. And they're trying to say, well, Donald Trump is just a pathological liar and making things up. But they always fail to understand his marketing. And even as a teenager, Trump understood marketing. I used to work at a TV station, and as the news director, I tried my best to separate my news department from some of the other departments. But the station had a big event coming up. We were sponsoring a boat race on Lake Champlain. And one day the general manager and I were in a meeting, and he said, can you take off your news hat just for a minute, put on a marketing hat and see my point? And I don't remember exactly what the point was, but I understood what he was trying to tell me. And I actually ended up being the guy that went out and did a story about the boat races, which was kind of fun because I hadn't been out on the street doing a story in a very, very long time. So you understand, Donald Trump is coming at this from a background that is not familiar to the people who are covering him. Because as news people, most of them have been living in a bubble all of their lives, and they don't trust anything around them. They somehow believe that the places that they work at, newspapers, radio stations, television, the web today, that these can all survive without revenue. Well, that's not the case. And so I think that Trump brings this to his job. And yes, he might tease someone now and then, but I saw the endorsement Jack Nicklaus gave him, and it is a ringing endorsement. And a guy like Jack Nicklaus, who is the best at what he ever did. Tiger Woods was very good, but he was only good for a short period of time. Jack Nicklaus was good for decades. Best golfer ever. And this is a guy who knows how to achieve things. And you've got to be on your game, but you've got to be also always working on your game in order to be the best ever. And when he endorses Donald Trump wholeheartedly, then I'm on board too, obviously. Got to run. I just want to get a quick note in here today about the sermon. I got to watch it at my desk while I was getting ready for work this morning. The pastor also said, though, that when it comes to the Democrat Party, they can't be trusted because of their policies on the unborn. And I think that's truly what this is all about. We have to return this to a godly nation. If you like our videos, please click on the subscribe button above and leave any comments in the comments section below. And remember, Halloween is coming up. There are going to be creepy crawly things all over. Many of them the size of a virus, from what I understand.